Hello, I'm Alan Bratt. I'm the current president of ACTRA Saskatchewan, and I'm also the National Councillor. I've been a member of ACTRA for more than 35 years. ACTRA has been around for more than 75 years, and in Saskatchewan for more than 50. In the early 40s, a group of English-speaking performers came together to form a union so they could negotiate with producers. It grew from representing performers in Montreal and Toronto to a national organization with 9 branches across the country, one of which is in Regina. Officially, it is the Alliance of Canadian Cinema, Television, and Radio Artists, but it's known simply as ACTRA and includes actors, recording artists, comedians, announcers, stunt coordinators and performers, dancers, narrators, voice performers, hosts, choreographers, models, singers, background performers, puppeteers, and more. There are more than 27,000 members participating in the 9 branches. They elect branch councils and national councillors who attend national meetings and oversee the work of ACTRA through its professional staff. Our principal role is to negotiate, administer, and enforce the collective agreements we have with engagers. These agreements ensure fair compensation and safe working conditions for professional performers. If you are an engager, why would you go to ACTRA? Well, when you hire an ACTRA member, you are engaging someone who takes their craft seriously enough to undergo the apprenticeship period and regards themselves as a professional. When I go into a studio to record a narration or a 15-second spot, or onto set to play some character, I do knowing I have not only my own reputation to uphold, but those of my fellow artists. I give respect, and I expect it in return. Way back, and this is a long time, before I was a member of ACTRA and did work for the experience, joy of it, maybe a few bucks, I often found my time and work was not treated with the respect and care it should have been. When you get something for nothing, too often, that's how you value it. ACTRA has the best in the business of Canadian performers. ACTRA has agreements for all kinds of budgets and project types, whether they're big films, television, video games, commercials, or ultra low budget. We want people to be able to do their productions. Without them, we won't have work. Our agreements have minimum rates and provisions, so even if you as a producer are working with a tight budget or a small budget, we try to make it so you can work with professionals. We also have databases that you, as a signatory to one of our agreements, can access. There is actraonline.ca for a database of performers, diversity.actraonline.ca if you're looking for a more diverse cast, voice.actraonline.ca for voice actors, background.actraonline.ca for background performers, and stunts.actraonline.ca for stunt performers. A simple way to get information about our branches, agreements, and services is to go to actra.ca. There you can navigate your way around. And we maintain offices with professional staff to help you. So if you're having trouble understanding some of the nuances of the agreements, you've got somebody to talk to. For performers, membership is the acknowledgement that enough engagers have had you work for them, that you are recognized as a professional and have thus been accepted into ACTRA. Because of that, you work under enforceable contracts with guaranteed minimum rates. You get preference of engagement, protection from harassment and discrimination, safe, clean, and healthy working conditions, professional development, and insurance and retirement benefits. You probably noticed I'm pretty old, and I'm thinking about my financial future. Recently, I looked at my RSP that I have with ACTRA, and I was surprised that it was pretty healthy. I've always worked in this small market, and there have been a lot of times when work has been few and far between. But every time I worked, money was put into my RSP. So over the years, and that's a lot of years, there was a fair accumulation of money in my RSP. That's a big deal in a business such as ours, where often you go without work for a long time. It just keeps chugging along. And the rates that it pays are pretty good compared to some of the other institutions. Now, you've heard of the gig economy, where workers operate as independent contractors. And sometimes their work is pretty precarious because they don't have any sort of protection. Well, ACTRA has been working in the gig economy for a long, long time. That's the nature of acting. And the interesting thing about being an ACTRA member is that you are running a small business. You're an independent contractor. And that's the way you're seen by income tax, which is, well, right now, maybe it's not important to you, but it will be. Often we negotiate higher rates because the minimums in the contract are just that. If an engager really likes you and they really want you and there's nobody else like you, then you can ask for more. Not greedily so, but just because you're worth it. And ACTRA has that kind of flexibility. If you need to set up a small studio to do auditions, or maybe to do some freelance work, then you can deduct the expense for that equipment from your income tax. ACTRA makes that easier. There is yet another aspect to being a member of ACTRA. You will be part of an organization that lobbies for support for Canadian production, support for performers, giving them access to programs that were available to other workers during the COVID pandemic, and support for having over-the-top organizations and companies like Netflix and the others to help contribute to the Canada Media Fund, so more Canadian producers can have a chance to do work here in Canada. ACTRA is one of the foremost influential organizations advocating for Canadian artists. So what about these agreements? Our largest is the Independent Production Agreement, or IPA. It covers the engagement of performers in film, television, web series, animation, documentaries, industrials, and lifestyle productions. BC, under the ACTRA/Union of BC Performers, has separate but congruent agreements. The IPA is negotiated between ACTRA and the Canadian Media Producers Association, CMPA, and its Quebec counterpart, the AQPM. It's a huge agreement. And for a young producer starting out, often seems daunting. Keep in mind that it is an agreement that applies to very big productions for companies that have troops of lawyers, as well as very small productions. That's why we have professional staff all across the country, because we're not expecting you to be completely versed in that agreement, and we want to help you get through it. And by the way, this is just a caution. If you're going to go professional and you're going to hire ACTRA, please contact us as soon as you decide to do that. What happens is that sometimes people will call up at one of our offices and say, I'm going to shoot next week. Can I get some insurance? Can I get the agreement? And of course, not only is your work not the only work that the rep is doing, but that there is a certain amount of time that is taken to get things done. And also, then we have a chance to talk to you about where your production fits in the agreement, what sort of budget it has, what flexibility you have with rates, all of that. But we need lead time. So if you're thinking about doing a production, please don't call up a week in advance and say, I gotta have this. It's just like going to the city and saying, look, I'm gonna start excavating tomorrow. What do I need to do? You won't get a very good response. I mean, we are anxious to help you. We really want you to be able to do your work because it benefits us. But time, as in so many cases, is a factor. Now, the person that you would talk to in Saskatchewan is Matt Fox. He's a great guy. Unfortunately, because we are limited in the hours that we can operate right now, because there is a dearth of work. He's only available 3 days of the week. That's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. But you can reach him by email at mfox@actra.ca or call the office at 306-757-0885. And Matt will do what he can to help you. And if he can't, there's a whole host of other people in ACTRA that can be marshaled to try to get you going. Now, remember, making movies is art, but it's also business. And so you want to approach this as a business thing. Give us time, please. Another frequently used contract, and this is the one that's most prevalent in Saskatchewan, because we're not doing a lot of dramas, we're not doing a lot of shows. If we are, they're ultra low budget in most cases. But it is the NCA, or the National Commercial Agreement. It covers performers in television, radio, and digital commercial productions. Like I say, in Saskatchewan, the vast majority of our work right now is done under the NCA. We negotiated with the Association of Canadian Advertisers, which is the ACA, and its Quebec counterpart, the ICA. We have a cost calculator that you can access that'll help you decide what sort of budget you are and what you can do. And you go to ACTRA at ACTRA Online Commercials, all one word, .ca. For low budget productions, and that's often what we're dealing with, we have the Canadian Independent Production Incentive Program, or CPIP. It's in Appendix 18 of the IPA and covers low budget Canadian features, movies of the week, and TV series. It offers a 15 to 45% discount on performer rates. There is even a lower budget agreement, which is the ACTRA Indie Production, or AIP. It's only available outside of Ontario and BC, and the budget must be under $250,000. And if you're making movies, you know, $250,000 is not an awful lot of money. Again, contact Matt at the office find out more about it. A vital part of ACTRA's work is contracting and safety. Even when I have done no-fee student productions for the film department at the university, and we have an agreement for that, the producing students are expected and have to pay for my insurance on set. That way, even if I'm not getting paid, at least I'm protected with insurance. It's terribly important. It's not much money, but it's a crucial step in working with ACTRA. Two useful sites to access are, and this is a great title for a website, accidentonset.ca. And the other one, and this applies to Saskatchewan, it's worksafesask.ca. And that is the one that used to be known as workers' compensation. Like any business, there are contributions producers make on behalf of the performer. 12% goes to insurance and retirement plan. But 0.5%, that's 0.5%, goes to the Performers' Rights Society. Now, Performers' Rights is a very interesting branch of ACTRA, because what they do is they keep track of productions and where the residuals are going. So that, for example, if you were in a show, and I was, a kid's show that was shown in Saudi Arabia, they'll know about that. And if there's a residual to be paid on that, they'll track it down. That's the amazing thing. They are a very useful arm, because being an actor is tough enough without your work disappearing and you not getting paid. Now, they don't come to your door with a baseball bat, but they're very effective. Sometimes, yeah, like the old joke, you're getting checks of 5 cents, but you are getting paid. Sometimes you're getting a lot more than that. Also, when a production is producing in our area, and this is for each branch takes these, we take a security bond. Now, what the security bond does is it protects the performers so that if something goes wrong, if the production falls apart, they get paid. Okay. And the bond is not repaid, because it is a bond. It's not a fee. The bond is repaid once all the actors are paid and the production wraps. It's protection. It is, I guess it's like a jail bond. If you take off, you lose the money. Now, because of some of the things that have happened in our industry, we're more conscious of the need for a safe and respectful work environment. Language to prevent harassment is included in our agreements. The onus is not just on the producers or crew either. Number 7 of our national bylaws states, members have a responsibility to uphold workplace, industry, and union environments free from discrimination and harassment as part of our code of conduct. ACTRA is a supporter of the Haven Helpline, which is the acronym for the Harassment, Anti-Racism, and Violence Emergency Network. It's staffed 24/7 and is intended to be a safety line for people experiencing harassment or discrimination at work. I mean, sometimes it's 11 o'clock at night and ACTRA branches are not open. There's nobody in the office, but there is somebody at Haven and you can contact them for help. The phone number is 1-855-201-7823. And the site is actra.ca/Haven. If you go to actra.ca, you can find it. Also important is read the code. Okay, capital R, capital T, capital C, all one word, .ca, which is dedicated to combating bullying, harassment, discrimination, and violence in our industry. Regarding COVID-19, producers are responsible for keeping people safe. Now, as jurisdictions have been trying to open up, governments have been relaxing those restrictions. That may not be enough to ensure the safety of people on set and to be acceptable to production insurers, because they don't want an interruption in production. These are interesting times, and many businesses and industries are finding that they have to take measures beyond what the jurisdictions are calling for. If our government says you don't have to wear masks, that's not necessarily so on site, or rather on set. Also, there's the issue of vaccinations. A lot of companies and organizations are demanding that their participants be vaccinated. It's perhaps a difficult area, but increasingly we're going in that direction. The important thing is keeping people safe. Thank you.